Welcome back to Losing Human by Aaron Dennis. This is part 2. Be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Losing Human.
Going back to the lab tonight?
Greta asked.
Of course.
Heisler replied.
I just don't understand where this is going.
What do you mean? You knew when we met what I do, how often I'm gone.
I know. I guess I just thought, we'd move in together, get married, have kids. I mean, why else do two people get together?
To experience life and share those experiences with one another. We don't need kids for that or marriage.
You're the stupidest smart person I've ever met, Stephen.
That's uncalled for.
No, it isn't. I'm not a robot doctor. I'm not experiencing anything with you. We barely even have sex anymore. Having a child together, someone to care for and raise, that's experiencing something together.
He looked at her. She glared back. The situation was truly incomprehensible.
I think it's over, Stephen.
A moment of staring into one another's eyes persisted. His expression had not changed throughout the discussion. She was no longer mad, just utterly disappointed.
You don't even care that I'm leaving, do you? You don't care that you've hurt my feelings or wasted over a year of my life?
I'm not sure what you want me to say here. I'll miss you.
No, you won't. You can lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself.
Greta said, tears welling up in her eyes.
She's right. I'm not going to miss her. I'm just going to keep working. Maybe this time I won't look for someone else. After all, what's the point?
The next few months consisted of running back and forth to the lab. The neurobiologist, Dr. Jenkins, had obtained a new specimen, so Heisler worked furiously to perfect the next MRC. At the lab, Heisler, Jenkins, and Dekker collaborated.
Franklin's a good ape. I think we've really got something. His intelligence and people skills are way off the charts,
Jenkins said. He was a tall, thin African-American with OCD. Dekker enjoyed touching Jenkins' belongings to get a rise from him, but they were all business at the moment.
What people skills?
For starters, he can sign well over 200 words.
That doesn't qualify.
Heisler interrupted.
Hold on.
Jenkins continued.
Franklin's polite. He signs please and thank you, doesn't interrupt people.
Jenkins said, shooting a look of mock contempt to Heisler.
He interacts well with humans.
He's got a leg up on you,
Dekker joked. Heisler was not pleased.
Look, Franklin's good. He responds to orders, thinks before making decisions, and is happy to learn.
Happy to learn.
Yes, he enjoys it.
Happiness and enjoyment aren't the same. He shows a willingness. That's good, but I don't think we can say he's happy.
Jenkins rubbed his face vigorously while exhaling.
Heisler, I've been measuring his serotonin levels. He's happy when he's learning, more so than when he's doing anything else. And that's what we're looking for, right?
Jenkins is right.
Dekker said.
We can't ask for a better ape.
Apes are far more complex than cats. How do we know he won't become aggressive after the change?
Jenkins stood to pace around. Then he busied himself with aligning some of the robotics tools by length.
Jenkins?
Without deviating from his abnormality, he replied,
We don't, but that's something we'll be able to decipher when we upload his awareness to the mainframe.
We saw indications of panic with Mittens.
So what? If Franklin shows the same, we don't move forward.
Of course not.
Maybe we should... do we want a specimen who doesn't react from being disembodied?
Jenkins finally turned to address them.
That's a good point. With his inquisitiveness, I doubt he won't show some levels of stress or confusion. However, we can wait until he settles down before we move into the new MRC. How far along are you anyway?
The head and torso are complete, but I'm wondering about going a different way.
How so?
Heisler looked off, though his face showed no sign of deliberation. Then he stood and approached the window overlooking the parking lot.
A real change,
he whispered.
A real change will provide us the data required to obtain the funding to move on to the final step. I want to create a body for which Franklin has no previous experience. I want to see what an ape can accomplish when provided a means to push past its standard limitations. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, to strip humanity of its limitations.
We need to stick to the outlined procedures, Heisler.
No more standard procedures.
Heisler, they'll shut us down.
Listen, I'm not talking about designing a gargantuan monstrosity. I just mean we give him wheels or more arms, something to truly test our theories.
Jenkins produced a cloth to wipe his seat down before sitting.
I'm listening.
You're listening.
Let's be honest, Charlie. No one really wants us to create a superhuman robot with human flaws. But if we can prove that an ape can achieve great accomplishments, we'll have statistical and irrevocable evidence that people will do the same when provided the opportunity.
Thank you. Can you secure a backup in the event that Franklin doesn't turn out to be the ape we want?
I can start.
He sighed.
Dekker, you on board with this?
He looked at both of his colleagues, then shook his head in dismay.
What choice do I have?
Good. I'll get to work on something spectacular.
The following months, Franklin underwent rigorous mental training, proving his intelligence was above average. Among some of the astonishing accomplishments was learning to clean other animals' cages. Franklin was a veritable whirlwind of work, and all the while, his serotonin levels shot through the roof. During Franklin's training and subsequent uploading of awareness, Heisler went to work on designing and building a new body, one more accommodating to their research. Late one night, in the engineering lab, he received a call on his cell phone. It was from his dad.
Yes? Stephen... His dad's voice was ragged. Yes.
Heisler asked again. Stephen, Heisler's dad choked up. Your mother passed. A moment of silence ensued.
This is one of those times I'm supposed to act sad, right? How did she go?
Oh, a stroke, he cried. I tried to call you when it happened, but I couldn't get through. I need to see you, son.
I'm at the lab, Dad.
What's wrong with you, boy? Don't you care about anybody other than yourself? His dad chastised in rage and mourning.
I do, but I can't get away.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just so sad. I loved her so much, and you remind me of her. I thought maybe I could see you. His dad apologized.
I understand. I'll see what I can do. Hang in there.
Heisler replied, then disconnected.
I don't have time for this.
He muttered, then went back to work. He was incapable of understanding simple emotional concepts such as the need for consoling. He didn't understand that his dad was sad and that seeing his son was uplifting, a human necessity.
Certainly, chemical reactions take place, but does everyone with a high production of adrenaline go off the deep end and kill someone? Ridiculous.
So, he just kept plugging away at his project until a few nights later, when he got another call. Thanks again for listening to Losing Human by Aaron Dennis. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel.